We can hear you.
So if everybody gets seated, we are on air. And we have all our board meeting members here, but Gan chose to use the hybrid solution here, so you can say hi to Gan there. Regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the Golden Rain Foundation of Laguna Woods, a California nonprofit mutual benefit corporation, this Tuesday, December 7th, 2021, 9:30, Laguna Woods, calls this meeting to order. So Director Stillman, will you now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
It's my pleasure on this special Remembrance Day to lead you all in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I'd like to acknowledge the media. Are there any objections to the agenda? So if there is no objections to the agenda, it is approved by unanimous consent. The next item is the approval of the minutes
Madam President,
of October 29th, 20.
Elsie,
Is-
Elsie.
I'm sorry, did you want to add that trash report to the agenda?
Oh, yes, I do. It would be under the reports. It's the trash report. It would, where it's committee reports. Yes, I do want to add that. I think everybody wants to know what's happening with our trash contract with the city. So under committee reports, after finance, let's put you, make it a B, okay, that you report on the trash contract. Okay, thank you, Elsie.
Number 3, it should be number 3.
Number 3?
Number 3 under A.
Oh, okay, you're right. Okay. Great. So are there any objections to the corrected agenda? So if there are no objections to the corrected agenda, it is approved by unanimous consent. So the next item is the approval of the minutes for October 29th, 2021 special open meeting. Are there any objections, additions or corrections? How about additions and corrections first? So if there's no addition and corrections, are there any objections? If there are no objections, it is approved by unanimous consent. So the next item would be the approval of the minutes for November 2nd, 2021, regular open meeting. Are there any additions or corrections?
Madam Chair,
Joan?
I have one correction. On page 2 of 24 in the minutes, the date is wrong. It should be under letter D Hearing no changes or objections, the minutes of July 14th, 2021 were approved. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Are there any objections to the corrected minutes of November 2nd, 2021? If there are no objections, the minutes of November 2nd, 2021 are approved by unanimous consent. So the next item would be the approval of the minutes for November 10th, 2021, 57th organizational meeting. Are there any additions or corrections? Is there any objection? No objections. It is approved by unanimous consent. So the next item is the report of the chair. And first, I want to let you know that Lelaine Isaacs was nominated as the GRF VMS representative yesterday. And also, Diane, are you here? Yes. Okay. Diane wants to talk about VCF.
Hello, good morning.
Mike?
So I am with Village Community Fund, VCF. We're a nonprofit 501c3 community benefit organization. Our mission is to provide support for programs, services, and facilities, primarily in the village. We're not to be confused with the foundation that focuses more on people in need. We focus more on projects. And we have 2 new projects on the way, so please continue donating. But I'm here today for some good news to start off your meeting. We have met our goal and have raised $25,000 to light the pickleball court. I want to have a big thank you to all of those people who donated. There were about 120 people that donated directly to the Village Community Fund, but there were, and they were not all pickleball players, nor were they all club members. But there were numerous other people that supported the project by participating in pickleball club events, raffles and silent auction. I think there was a silent auction, a tournament. And in this case, all the heavy lifting was done by the Pickleball Club's Light the Night Committee. So let's see. They not only organized their events, the pickleball events, but they also did relentless advertising of this project. And so even, I would say, a lot of the donations that we got directly to the Village Community Fund were thanks to all of their efforts. And so let me introduce who I think of as the man of the hour, the unofficial mayor in my heart of Laguna Woods Village, Ajit Gidwani.
True.
Thank you. That's a big shoes to fill. We couldn't have done this. My name is Ajit Gidwani. This is my committee. Cheryl, Miranda, she did our publicity. Our calling was done by Roseanne and Kay. And of course, our esteemed leader, Joan, let us fly on our own and gave us all the leeway that we needed. We couldn't have done this without all your help, all your support, and we are so thankful for this, getting this opportunity to help the community out in this field. Thank you very much for your support in this matter. Of course, I forgot two people who are missing at present, Darlene and Debbie Springer and Nadine Lavier. They couldn't make it today because they had other arrangements. They are out of town, all of them. I'm sorry I didn't mention them earlier, but we had a committee of 8 people and they were phenomenal. I couldn't have done anything without their help and your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. So the next item on our agenda is the election of Acclimation. And we have a new director that will be seated today, Reza Karimi. And will you read the resolution, please? Here, do you want me?
Too many resolutions. Okay, Resolution 90-21-XX. declare candidate Reza Karimi elected without vote of corporate members. Whereas Section 8.3 of the Golden Rain Foundation of Laguna Woods amended bylaws adopted January 18th, 2021, contains the election procedure to be followed during a special election to fill a vacancy. And whereas bylaws, Section 8.3.1, solicitation of votes states, if more people are nominated for the board than can be elected, the election shall take place by means of a procedure that allows all nominees a reasonable opportunity to solicit votes and all directors of all corporate members a reasonable opportunity to choose among nominees. And whereas bylaws, Section 8.3.2, equal or fewer candidates, states, if after the close of nominations, the number of nominees is equal to or less than the vacancies, those nominated and qualified shall be declared elected. And whereas on October 2021, one vacancy on the GRF Board of Directors resulted when incumbent Maggie Blackwell was elected to the United Mutual Board of Directors during their annual election. And whereas GRF and the corporate secretary administered the following schedule to fill the vacancy. October 15th, 2021, sent out notice to special corporate members meeting to fill vacancy on GRF Board of Directors. October 29th, 2021, sent out media release calling for candidate applications. November 1st, 2021, nominations were opened. November 15th, 2021, nominations were closed. And whereas after the close of nominations on November 15th, 2021, Reza Karimi was the only nominee for the vacancy. Now, therefore, be it resolved, December 7th, 2021, the Board of Directors of this corporation, pursuant to Section 8.3.2 of the bylaws, hereby declares Reza Karimi elected to the GRF Board of Directors. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this election. I move that we approve this nomination.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any objections? If there are no objections, the resolution is approved by unanimous consent. So, Reza, please come up and sit on the dais. Thank you. So the next item on the agenda is the CEO report. Jeff Parker.
Good morning, everybody, to the board and residents. Two items with regards to personnel and one item with regards to an update on COVID real quick. Relative to COVID, and Orange County Health reported that over the weekend, they reported 1,443 cases over the weekend. So as you can see, that's a little bit of a spike upward in the number of cases over the weekend. So again, be cautious, be safe, and be washing your hands and wearing your mask. Relative to numbers that are critical in us watching the process too is the hospitalizations and ICUs. They actually have pretty much stabilized over the last month and a half. The reported numbers yesterday were 169 hospitalizations. That give you an example, that's actually down, which is good news. But the ICUs are up to 57. That's up from 49 a couple of weeks ago. With regards to Laguna Woods, the city of Laguna Woods, which we're part of, we see a spike of 10 cases from 565 up to 575 in the last 2 weeks, and unfortunately, additional 2 fatalities in the last 2 weeks. So again, COVID's still out there. It's something to be serious about and be cautious about. And obviously, you have a new variant out there as well, although we haven't seen quite the impact yet to California, but we know it's in California now, and it's going to be spreading across the United States, I'm sure, in the next holiday, during the holiday season, unfortunately. With regards to on the personnel side, I'm very pleased to, and we sent emails out, but I'm very pleased to announce to our residents that we have a couple of new positions and promotions. First is a promotion of Ian Barnett, who has been our maintenance manager, services manager, and he is being promoted to the new deputy director position for maintenance in M&C. And that's coming up. As you know, that was one of the changes we made to the budgetary process this year. Ian's came to us in 2019 and has just done a fantastic job with regards to managing the maintenance services programs, which includes plumbing, appliances, electrical, all of our facility assets management. So he's also been handling an interim manager position lately for damage restoration. And under this new deputy director of maintenance position, he will be overseeing both of those divisions, which encompass, shows you just how big it is, 9 individual work centers, 139 employees, and a budget of over $41 million. So it's a big lift, but Ian's done a fantastic job coming to us from. One of the interesting things is one of the reasons he shined in his interview when we hired him was he came from a very service-orientated company, which was Knott's Berry Farm. And so he has continued to provide that kind of service level. We're welcome to have him promoted up to the deputy director position. The second one is, as you know, Chris Lagenauer is going to be leaving us in the near future as our general services. We've gone through the process of recruiting for that position, and I'm pleased to, one, thank some of the board members who sat on the original committee, and they made a recommendation up to Siobhan and myself, and we finalized interviewing a gentleman by the name of Jerry Thompson, and we look forward to having Jerry come on board in January. Jerry has experience in all of the areas that we were looking for: facilities, operations, transportation, capital projects, director of maintenance for a number of facilities and organizations previous to that, and also had the title of general services manager for a community much larger than us prior to accepting the position here. So we're definitely looking forward to him on board, and we'll make a great transition between Jerry and Chris and make that work as positively as we can during the month of January. So looking forward to that. And that's all I have to report. I'll turn it over to Siobhan.
Thank you, Jeff. Honorable President, members of the board, I just have a few quick announcements this morning. First of all, the 2022 Community Mulch Days have been announced. The first mulch days will be January 21st through the 24th, where mulch generated by Village Landscaping will be available to residents for personal use at clubhouses 3, 4, and 5. Mulching a garden or planting area helps suppress weeds, prevent soil erosion, insulate soil, and help absorb more moisture that's in the soil and that is scarce these days. Secondly, the city has announced shredding drop-off service. The city will now schedule appointments for residents to drop off personal documents at City Hall for free shredding. To schedule an appointment, please visit the City of Laguna Woods website and click on the blue Arrange Document Shredding button. Appointments can also be scheduled by calling City Hall at 949-639-0500. And lastly, I wanted to draw attention to a new informational video that is available on the Village YouTube channel. And this features our landscaping services department, which is one of the largest departments in our village. The department handles 303 acres of turf, 150 acres of shrubs, 142 acres of slopes, 56 miles of edging, and 39,000 trees. Much of what landscaping provides begins with 3 vital areas: the mower shop, the mulch yard, and the nursery. To share these amazing things that are accomplished in landscaping services, VMS and landscaping services crew members filmed a special video presentation. This includes bird's eye views and an in-depth look at how landscaping works for the residents in our community. Again, you may watch this video on the Village YouTube channel or on the Village Facebook page. It's really interesting and worth a look. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So the next item on the agenda is the open forum.
Madam Chair,
Yes?
May I be recognized?
Yes,
Yeah,
Jim.
just have a question. At the last GRF meeting, the Vision Club had some concerns about their mobility on the sidewalks. Has that been looked into, and is there something moving with that process?
If you're, if you're referring to the benches that were on the, yes, the staff has looked into that. We have pulled together a number that allocates where those benches are and what grouping they are. And I was, because of the financial side of it and potentially contract, I was going to present some additional information at the closed session.
And I thought M&C is managing that, right, for the benches?
No, that comes under general services, and Chris is taking care of it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Or the new guy will be taking care of it.
All right. Thank you.
Jerry.
Okay, so the next item is the open forum. Are there any more questions before we go, excuse me, before we go forward? So the open forum, 3 minutes per speaker. At this time, members only may address the Board of Directors regarding items not on the agenda and within the jurisdiction of this Board of Directors. The board reserves the right to limit the total amount of the time allotted for the open forum to 30 minutes. A member may speak only once. Boy, I'm at cough. And I have a dry cough. No COVID. Excuse me.
Bunny, try one of these. It's natural.
I have one in my purse, but I didn't want it. Okay, so a member may speak only once during the forum. Speakers may not give their time to other people. No audio or video recording by the attendees, and no rude or threatening comments. Members can attend the meeting by joining the Zoom link or calling 1-669-900-6833 or email meeting@vmsinc.org. So, Grant, do we have any speakers today?
We do have 8 in-person speakers, and I believe some email speakers as well. The first speaker is, I'll bring them up, Rhoda Littner, 2013C.
Good morning. I don't mean to be either rude or threatening, but COVID is still with us, as Mr. Parker has just reminded us, if we needed reminding. Also, it is wonderful that GRF is opening up the village, the recreational aspects of our lives, and that's very good. But for those of us who use the buses, there's a serious problem, and that is that evenings and weekends, there's no buses. There are no fixed routes. We don't expect fixed routes, evenings and weekends, but we do expect and need buses, because Lyft, while it is wonderful on paper, it sounds like a wonderful program on paper, that you have covered all the times that the buses don't run with Lyft. But Lyft is not COVID safe. There's no way that Lyft could be COVID safe without us being involved, without our administration being involved with the drivers personally, so that we knew that they were wearing masks, so that we knew that that cars were being disinfected between passengers. It is not safe to use Lyft. It just looks good on paper. Lyft was planned for, and this is, when I say Lyft, I mean what you call the boost system. The boost system was planned for before COVID, and it looked good on paper then, and it functioned pretty well then. But it is too late now. We still have COVID. We're going to have COVID for a long time. It isn't going away. We have to do something to permit the older or handicapped well, the handicapped taken care of, they have Journey. But those of us who are not handicapped enough to qualify for Journey and won't be taken by Journey anywhere, need to have what we used to call the B bus system. Some of you were here then when we had a B bus. About 2 or 3 of you were here when we had a B bus. The B bus ran evenings and weekends to major events that were happening in the village. The B bus took people to church on Sunday and back. The B bus was a small bus, usually. Usually it didn't have any more than 3 or 4 people on it going in one direction. But it was essential, it was important, it worked. So we need to figure out something safe to use. Thank you.
Thank you.
Loven, Lutzenheiser, 521C.
Good morning. I have a few comments about electrical vehicle charging at GRF properties, clubhouses, and others. As someone who has done research and advised policy about energy and climate for 30 years, I see some new opportunities that I'd like to share. For example, the California Energy Commission very recently issued a call for proposals for electric vehicle charging at multifamily residences. This is a brand new program, and it's a first. And it's basically one shot, $8.5 million, up to $3 million per award, zero match for level 2 charging. But it's not just a money dump. It requires a significant research element as well as a significant resident involvement, engagement, and education element. And it would stretch out over 5 years. And it has a couple of other features that might not make it work very well for the community or something that people might not have an appetite for. So we can talk about that with a committee or here, but not in 3 minutes. But it's things like this opportunity, I think, that can spur our thinking about EV charging in the future. There's federal infrastructure money coming. There's going to be more state money. The Public Utilities Commission has ordered the utilities, including Edison, to put out more charge-ready funding in the future. This is being driven by legislative commitments and law at federal and state levels related to climate change, and a lot of change is coming fast. So you've considered this in the past, I know, and may have things on the table that I'm not aware of, but I encourage you to continue looking at charging at GRF sites. This is where people actually come and bring their vehicles and spend time, whether that's at the gym or in a bridge game, whether it's at the pools, whatever it is. This is the place where the highest wattage is available from Edison. This is the place where it's easiest to put in infrastructure on our side of the meter. So I think it's important that we be prepared for these kinds of opportunities. Planning is, I think, an important thing to do. As somebody who spent a fair amount of time in a graduate planning school, I can say that, in fact, it's been shown time and again that governments, businesses, nonprofits, communities that plan do better in times of change than others that do not. I'm happy to contribute to that planning, and I'm sure that there are other residents who are able to do that too. I know that Steve Leonard and Carl Rendazzo have done some really nice analysis of costs and benefits of charging at clubhouses. So thank you for listening, and thanks again for what you do.
Thank you.
Chris Collins, 3306 Key.
Good morning. Chris Collins. I'm here to give you a little update on the foundation of Laguna Woods Village and the work that we do on behalf of residents that are experiencing temporary financial crisis. Our motto is Neighbors Helping Neighbors. Donations to the foundation of Laguna Woods Village make a difference in people's lives. Sometimes it's hard to envision how a donation can do this, but we receive many thank you notes. And I'd like to share a few with you of the comments that people have made. Donations permit the foundation to help with medical bills, grocery cards, hearing aids, emergency response devices, dental care, electric and telephone costs, caregiver services, and other matters when residents face financial emergencies on a temporary basis. So here are some of what comments that we've received from recipients themselves. We are so fortunate to have the foundation. All your help caring for us seniors deserves more than a thank you. The Stater Brothers gift cards put a smile on my face and a reminder of your caring help. As the sole caregiver of my mom since the end of 2018, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks for the funds for someone to be with my mother as I take care of necessary appointments. Thanks to your kindness, my husband has been able to complete his treatment and now enjoys renewed eyesight. Thank you for extending the emergency response device coverage. Your generosity is very appreciated since my finances are limited due to my husband's death and I'm prone to falling. Thank you for helping us. You made it possible for my husband to attend the Alzheimer's daycare on El Toro, which he enjoys so much. So for more information about the foundation, please contact us at thefoundation@comline.com or by telephone 949-268-2246. Please also visit our website at foundationoflagunawoodsvillage.org and learn how the foundation lives up to its motto, neighbors helping neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joseph Italiano, 2183P.
I'm deferring my comments to the CAC meeting on Thursday.
I didn't hear what he said. What did he say?
He is going to comment at the CAC meeting for GRF.
Okay, thank you.
Joe Fitzkim, 405D.
Good morning, directors. I wanted to start out by saying thank you to Jeff Parker for his efforts as he's getting to leave the community. I suppose we can always debate issues, but one thing I liked over what I saw a few years ago, I joked with Jeff when we met for the first time, was I was in a room with him alone talking to him. I was never in a room with our previous CEO without an attorney or a large number of witnesses. So I appreciate the fact Jeff was always forthright what he thought, whether he agreed, disagreed, or whatever. I never thought he tried to outsmart somebody, try to trick somebody. He just told us what he thought. I really, really appreciate that. I think, COVID would have been a mess for anybody. I think he did a great job of guiding us through that. I think he had VMS really well prepared. And certainly with the Ayers Hotel, that was something I think the community was happy he was able to manage. So my compliments to him. Last nice thing I'll ever say. No, anyway, we lost Joe Bergeon, who was the president for 2 years of tennis. Joe was an advocate for us and a hero to some of us at tennis. Long before some of you, I was in a meeting with Joe 4 years ago, and some things were said about the members of tennis, and some things were said about him, and he resigned. We recently, again, he advocated for the success of tennis and for the members he knew and loved there. We lost him to a heart attack, and I'm sad he didn't see that his efforts were successful. It is something someday, and this is always up to President Carpenter, I'd really like for one member of this board to know what happened to him in the past. And it's really sad and unfortunate. We all are humans and we all have flaws, but a few flaws hit him that day from a whole lot of people that really weren't fair. So I'm hoping there's something we can learn by mistakes any of us made in the past, any of us might make now, and help avoid them in the future. I always talk a lot about information. I was in a business where for about the better part of a decade, my job was to close companies around me. So it's always important in information systems that I knew more about my competition than they did. Sometimes the information we get isn't too good. You've heard a lot about surveys and stuff lately. And yesterday was an election at tennis where the results was about 125 to 39. That result was a condemnation of the court system. That result resulted in every single person on the board who supported it being gone. That result meant that 8 people who ran with me all won. And at that vote, that number of people voting would be equivalent if President Carpenter took and ran on a single issue to be president of GRF, but the community voted for you as opposed to being appointed like we had been, you would have a situation where 6,000 people for the residents would have to show up here on the same day at the same time and vote for you. That's how overwhelming that was. And so that's what I think when you look at the information you get in the future, study it really hard because the people are there, know what they want. So thank you very much. Appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
The same thing.
Robert Williamson, 712Q.
Thank you. I'm here to speak of COVID, and thank you very much for your earlier discussion of what's going on and the latest news. First of all, I want to commend the board and everyone that was involved in the initial vaccination program in conjunction with Memorial Care getting out Moderna shots. That was so efficient, so well run, and very successful. I don't have the numbers of how many shots we got into everyone's arms, but one thing to note, as you well all know, is the protection afforded by those shots is waning. The news, as I hear and read, is that after about 6 months, it's not as good. We don't have as much protection. And also we're old. We're getting older. And I have an immune deficiency myself, so I have to be very careful. The main thing you brought up is COVID is still surging in certain regions, states. For instance, in San Joaquin Valley, the hospitals have been maxed out for a few weeks, maybe a month, and they're sending people everywhere they can in the state. Sadly to say, they have a lot of vaccine hesitancy there, and they have to deal with that. It's not political, but it's been made political. We don't have to deal with politics here. We're from all parties, and I have to commend you again for advanced thinking with the Moderna program that you put on. At this time, we should start thinking ahead about getting boosters, Moderna boosters probably, into everyone's arms that we can. I'm caught a little flat-footed because I understand there is a program afoot to get boosters or whatever vaccine into the people that can't get out. However, I want to mention that the people that do get out and circulate in the community, they're the ones who can pick it up and bring it back. And the breakthrough disease of people that have been vaccinated is happening more and more. Delta is a big problem. The newer variant, Omicron, I'll give you the good news. The latest information here, New York Times, is that hospitalizations, because of that, especially in South Africa, it hasn't been serious. But that does not mean that the Delta variant can't merge with Omicron in a body and become something that's has high transmissibility and also serious repercussions. So I behoove you, think about another program to get boosters into everyone's arm with Memorial Care. Thank you.
Thank you.
John Beckett, 364Q.
I was going to talk on item 12C. Should I speak now or wait?
You can wait until 12C if you would like.
Well, it's up to the chair.
And I didn't hear what subject he was going to talk to. 12C, he would wait till 12C.
That's correct. He would like to wait until 12C. Maxine McIntosh, 68C.
Good morning. I love the way this is designed here. This is really helpful. I want to address the design of the new dumpsters coming in not what you're planning to do later on in the agenda. This is something different. When we moved here in the 90s, the dumpsters all had a rod, a support rod that recessed into the side next to the lid. So when you open the lid, you could put up the rod just like you do on the front of a car. You want to check what's wrong with the car, you put that rod up to hold the hood so you have both hands free, right? And that's the way our dumpsters worked. Then a new set of dumpsters came in, and they didn't have the rod. And I couldn't believe it. And in walking around the community, I would see people had thrown the lid hard to get it open so they could use both hands to put their trash in. And then they couldn't close the lid. A landscape was in the way or a wall was in the way. And I've seen other people still to this day bring a broom or a mop to push it open, and then they can't pull it closed. There's no hook on the end of that handle. So if we're still able to do so, I hope that you will see to it that our new dumpsters from now on come in with a rod that will support the lid so you can have both hands free. Another thing I'd like to address is I understand Jeff Parker is retiring. Am I correct, Jeff? Yes. You know, I can't blame him. That's why most of us move here. We want to retire. But I didn't want him to retire. All the years I've lived here since 1993, this is my favorite of the CEO, general managers that we've had. We've had a lot of nice people, but I felt that Jeff answered all the solutions to the problems I was thinking of very, very well. I'm happy you can retire, and I'm so sorry for all of us to lose you, Jeff. Good retirement. And I wish to say to all of you, I hope you have a very happy holiday. You're wonderful to volunteer your time like this. I appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Connie, do we have any email comments?
Yes, I have 2 members' email comments. Ann Beltran, 8540. Thank you, GRF directors, for the work you do. My comment is that with the pressing need county in our water district, people of the absolutely vital and precious nature of our water resources. One way to keep reminding people to conserve their water would be to have a signs posted at all the gates. Surely the VMS marketing folks could come up with something as eye-catching and impactful as the state county signs on our roads, such as "We're drying," with a graphic that is eye-catching and a message that is appreciative of our imported water. Let's attract residents. The need to improve our water conservation is urgent, so I hope the board to give VMS a directive to make signage at the gates a priority. Thank you. Joe Melendez, 41-0. NBC Sports and ESPN Classic has been discontinued by those networks. We are getting a 5% increase for broadband TV services starting in February. How much will we be saving by not having the above channels, and could we use the savings to offset some or all of the 5% increase? Also, we have more than 100 cell phone plans being charged to us around. These plans have been reduced to $35. Where are these savings going to? Can we make an adjustment to our HOAs to reflect the savings? Use the savings from the 2 channels and the savings from the cell phone plans to adjust our HOAs? This concludes the members' email comments.
Thank you. That concludes member comments.
Thank you. So do we have any response from the directors that would like to speak to any of these? Okay.
The first one is to Rhoda regarding the buses. And Don, I don't know when the next mobility meeting is, but you might want to go to the mobility meetings. Okay. Oh, okay. All right, well, that's good to know. So, it was good information though, what you said, so, I'll talk with Don. And the other thing is to Mr. Lutzenheiser, we constantly talk about EV charging in the M&C meetings, so, we're very, we have Bart Mejia. He's been working with the SE programs and all of that. So you're welcome to join and give your comments there as well. And those were the two that I wanted to talk about.
Okay, thank you. And
Gan.
And Gan has his hands up, so go ahead, Gan.
I have a comment regarding the booster chart that gentleman talked about. I was the other day at the Rite Aid, and it is fairly vacant and not many people, but it was readily available. Booster shot is very readily available at the Rite. If somebody is interested to get it sooner, they can always go fill out a form that talks about when your earlier initial vaccination was taken, all that, and your address for us, and you can get it right there. That is just for your information. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers? Okay, so go ahead, Egon, and then Elsie.
Yeah, to Lowell and Lutzenheiser on the EV charging. If you'll get that information to me, I'm the chair of the M&C committee. I'd be happy to share it with the committee, and we're certainly very, very interested in things that have grants associated with them, especially since we don't qualify for the normal tax benefits that some of these programs have.
Would we have a few minutes to talk about that at the meeting tomorrow?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Elsie, you're next.
Well, first of all, to Rhoda, I'm sorry you weren't happy with your visit to the Mobility Committee, but you were definitely heard, if that's any comfort. I heard you. I think we all did. I just apologize that we didn't do more to make you feel like you hadn't wasted your time. Oh, darn it. Do you want me to mention that?
Maxine?
No, Maxine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to answer Miss Maxine. You know, you are so right, Maxine, and, it's just one of those darn things that you put up with and you never even think about questioning. Or I'm stupid, I do. It's like this is my first big experience with dumpsters. And, I've had the open ones, but as far as a regular depository for my stuff, and I just, and it's horrible. It's a real pain. So thank you. Your voice has definitely been heard. I don't know if we can do anything about it, but I know my associate, Yvonne, agrees with you also. Yes, about the booster program. If I just wanted to throw in addition to what Gan said about the availability at Rite Aid does not provide at this time, and I don't think they're going to, our Rite Aid doesn't have Moderna. But the Rite Aid nearest the Y, it's just off of Irvine Center Drive, they have Moderna available, but you do need to make an appointment. And that's where I got my booster. So just, but my husband got his Johnson re-up, I believe it was Johnson, at the local Rite Aid. So just wanted to pass along that information.
Thank you.
One other too.
Are there any other comments? Okay, Joan?
Another one regarding the vaccine. If you look up vaccines.gov, that gives you a lot of information on where to find the third shot by zip code and whether you can walk in or have to make an appointment, and even helps you make an appointment at the time according to the vaccine you need. So that's vaccines.com. It's a really helpful site.
Thank you. Reza.
On the same booster shot, I just got my at CVS on Paseo de Valencia. There is no waiting line. You go in there, they ask you if you have immune problem. The answer is yes. always for over 55, and you get your shot. It's up at only 5 minutes, wait period probably. So it's right around the corner, and our buses will take you there if you cannot, drive yourself. It's available.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Madam Chair, I have a couple of comments with regards to, again, talking about the vaccinations. Excuse me, one of the things I wanted to mention was, and it was brought up by Mr. Williams, was that the county, as part of the Orange County Health System, has created a homebound support system. And that homebound support system is where the county will go to a person's residence that can't get out. That was something that we coordinated on our first shots, but now the county has implemented this homebound support system. You can call their hotline at 714-834-2000, or you can actually submit a request through the Othina map app, which is the application that the county uses for appointments. So either way, if you can't get out of your home and you're homebound, this is a way that you can get that booster shot. Also wanted to mention that, as others have said, there is really widespread availability of the booster shot, and given the nature of how we indicated, and we did our vaccination clinics, as you recall, I just wanted to mention that we were one of the first vaccination clinics out there. We coordinated with the county and kind of got ahead of it with the Memorial Care and their support, so we were able to get ahead of vaccination clinics per se in all of the county by 5 or 6 weeks. Now with the booster shots and the availability as widespread, it has been determined that that's the best avenue for people to go to CVS or Rite Aid to get their booster shots at this point in time. And that's all I had on that. The other one the gentleman mentioned the budget for the broadband. There is a slight increase in the broadband budget, and in that budget there are two elements. One, there was a discontinuation of the NBC Sports and ESPN Classic channels. Those channels, that was incorporated in that overall budget for broadband services. So that increase that's effective come this next year, January, is inclusive of that. So we knew that there was a little savings there, but that's been addressed in the budget. He also mentioned in the comment about, and this came from a dialogue at a different board, was that we have a number of cell phones in our operation, in our organization. And we used to have a cell phone package that is data driven, and we had rates up to $75 a month in that. We just recently renegotiated that whole package deal for all of our cell phones, and now all of them have been reduced down to $35 as a plan. So we have some savings that will be coming back in our operations this next year, but it's on a monthly basis. So you're not going to see any big lump sum that we could use to offset fees, but it will go back into savings that the department has that would reflect back into your GRF budget in the future. So that's all I had.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Okay, Elsie?
I'm very sorry I didn't mention this earlier. Along with what Mr. Parker's saying, I just want to point out that the broadband fee hasn't been changed. It was established in 2013, and we haven't seen an increase to that in that many years. So I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, but we had Juanita and then Debbie.
I just wanted to chime in because I'm hearing a lot of feedback on those two sports channels. And people are saying we're counting out all of the sports channels because we had to let go 2 of the Fox ones earlier. These 2 channels are going out of business. It's not us that is taking them out. The channels will be no longer available. They've decided it was not fiscally worthwhile. So they are closing, and that's why they're going away, not because we decided not to carry them.
And Debbie?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we're part of a consortium, and we negotiate with the consortium negotiates prices for purchasing the stations, and all of the major stations have had larger increases in the cost that rolls down to us. So to Elsie's point, we haven't had an increase in a very, very long time. And believe me, the broadband committee and the people in broadband, such as Paul Ortiz, have spent an extraordinary amount of time trying to keep the costs down. Has nothing to do with what Juanita said, is those channels are going out of business, so it wasn't that we willingly dropped those. But, more and more people are going to streaming, and because, for example, if you buy Showtime or HBO through us, it's actually more expensive than if you bought it and streamed it. So just keep in mind that at $34 or whatever our monthly amount for broadband is extremely low. Go out and try to buy DirecTV or something like that. You'll be paying in excess of $120 a month. So we have it very good here. And the fact that we even have our own broadband and have the ability to do this is amazing. So I really hope that residents who are listening right now realize that we have a gem in what we have with our broadband. And really, a 5% increase is a minuscule amount compared to what you'd pay in the open market. So I'm very grateful for that. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. So the comments in regards to water conservation, there are a lot of programs. Right now, Juanita has decided, she's been selected to be on our representative to the water board, El Toro Water Board. And we have some programs coming up with landscaping that will be addressing water conservation. So I just want everyone to know that we are making every effort to be on top of that, and also to work with the other boards in conserving our water. So thank you. Any other comments? If there are no other comments, we will go on to the consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are recommended for action by committees and will be enacted by the board by one motion. The event an item is removed from the consent calendar by members of the board, such item shall be subject of further discussion and action by the board. So recommendation from the Finance Committee, A, consistent with its statutory obligations, a subcommittee of the board consisting of the treasurer and at least one other board member reviewed and approved preliminary Golden Rain Foundation financials for the month of October 2021. By this vote, they shall review, be confirmed in this month's board member open session meeting minutes. Are there any objections? So if there is no objections, the consent calendar is approved. The next item, 12, is unfinished business. The first item, A, is entertain a motion to approve an outside vendor Equestrian Center Arena rental. And this has satisfied the 28-day member review. Joan, will you read the resolution, please?
Yes. Resolution 90-21XX. Outside vendor Equestrian Center Arena rental. Whereas staff was directed to establish an outside vendor rental rate for the purpose of hosting horse shows and riding clinics. CAC recommended the following proposed fee structure, subject to affirmation by the Finance Committee and board approval. For horse shows with 10 outdoor stalls, Monday through Friday, per day, $650. Saturday and Sunday, one day only, $800. Saturday and Sunday, both days, $1,200. And for the horse clinics, Monday through Friday, $200. Saturday or Sunday, one day, $300. Saturday and Sunday, both days, $400. For individual day and overnight rentals, for the small pen, it's $20 per day. For the large pen, it's $30 per day. Overnight, it's $40 per the small pen or $50 for the large pen. And midday water and drag of the arena is $50. Whereas on October 14th, 2021, the Community Activities Committee recommended the proposed outside vendor rental rates for the Equestrian Center to host event horse shows, clinics, and individual rentals beginning January 1st, 2022. And whereas at the October 20th, 2021 Finance Committee meeting, the committee affirmed the CAC recommendations of the proposed outside vendor rental rates for the Equestrian Center to host event horse shows, clinics, and individual rentals beginning January 1st, 2022. Now therefore be it resolved, December 7th, 2021, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts recommended outside vendor rental rates for the Equestrian Center to host horse shows, clinics, and individual rentals beginning January 1st, 2022, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. I move that we approve this resolution of the horse rates.
I second that motion.
Are there any objections?
I just have a question.
All right.
Discussion.
Is our insurance cover this, or the vendors that rent this cover the insurance for this purpose? Whose insurance is obligatory?
Yvonne, do you want to answer that?
Well, outside trainers bring in, they have $1 million worth of insurance, and we're always in second place in case of a problem, and we carry $20 million over there, so.
So we are not indemnified on this coverage, so it's both.
Yeah, both.
So we cover part of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? And so our parliamentarian is saying that we need to take a vote on this. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, it's been approved by unanimous consent. So the next item is to entertain a motion to approve the 2022 Equestrian Center pricing policy, chargeable services. And this is already, the 28-day review has been satisfied. Joan, please read the resolution.
Okay. Resolution 90-21-XX, 2022 Equestrian Center pricing policy and chargeable service fees. Whereas the current pricing policy and fees were reviewed to establish fair costs to boarders while providing a high level of horse care and customer service. The proposed fees were determined after conducting a comprehensive regional cost analysis of similar facilities. CAC recommended the following proposed Equestrian Center fees, subject to affirmation by the Finance Committee and Board approval. I'll read the changes only. For the horse boarding fee, we've increased it to $265 per month. The shavings per bag is $7.50. Non-resident horse boarding fee is now $325 per month. Non-resident shavings is $8.50 per bag. They eliminated the horse feed pellets, and horse feed teff hay is now $69. Horse feed Timothy hay is $99. Resident trail ride on GRF horse for 45 minutes is $99. Resident trail ride on a boarded horse for 45 minutes is now $15. They eliminated the half-hour rides, both for a GRF horse and a boarded horse. The resident lesson per 45 minutes is now $30. The resident private lesson for a boarded horse is now $20. They eliminated the half-hour lessons for boarded horses and GRF horses. The resident group lesson with a GRF horse for 45 minutes is $15. The resident group lesson with a boarded horse is now $10. They eliminated half-hour lessons for the GRF and boarded horses. And the GRF private lesson for the GRF horse now for 45 minutes is $55. And the non-resident private lesson for boarded horse is for 45 minutes is $35. Those are both for non-residents. The non-resident half-hour lessons were eliminated, and the non-resident group lesson with a GRF horse is $35. The non-resident group lesson with a boarded horse for 45 minutes is now $20. And the non-resident storage horse trailer annually is $240. That's a new fee. And those are all the changes of the fees. So whereas on September 9th, 2021, the Community Activities Committee recommended the GRF Equestrian Ad Hoc Committee's proposed equestrian service fee amendments to the current equestrian pricing policy, Resolution 90-20-20, to be effective for the fiscal year 2022. And whereas at the October 20th meeting, 2021, the Finance Committee meeting, the committee affirmed the CAC recommendation of the equestrian service fee amendments to the current equestrian pricing policy, Resolution 90-20-20, to be effective for fiscal year 2022. And now therefore be it resolved, and that should be today's date, December 7th, 2021. The Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the recommended GRF Equestrian Ad Hoc Committee's recommended equestrian service fee amendments to the current equestrian pricing policy, Resolution 90-20-20, to be effective fiscal year 2022, and resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. I move that we approve this resolution with the proper date.
I second.
Are there any objections? So if there are no objections, this is approved by unanimous consent. So the next item would be to entertain a motion to introduce a revised GRF investment policy. The 28-day review has been satisfied. So Joan, please read the resolution.
All right. Resolution 90-21XX, Golden Rain Foundation Investment Policy. Be it resolved, December 7th, 2021, that this corporation is hereby authorized to invest the funds of the corporation. All investments on behalf of this corporation must be made with the underlying principles in the following order of priority. 1, safety, 2, liquidity, where applicable, and 3, yield, and are subject to the following conditions. Non-discretionary investments. Resolved further, the funds administered by the corporation's managing agent must be invested in a non-discretionary account in accordance with the provisions of Civil Code 5380. Authorized investments administered by the managing agent are limited to obligations of or fully guaranteed as to principal by the United States of America. And resolved further that no discretionary investment may be sold, withdrawn, redeemed, or otherwise converted to cash prior to maturity without a demonstrated immediate need for the funds and the consent of any two of the following: the treasurer, the president, or the first or second vice president of this corporation. Furthermore, if there is a request that a non-discretionary investment be sold, withdrawn, or otherwise converted to cash prior to maturity, where there has been no demonstrated immediate need, approval must be provided by the board of directors of this corporation. Discretionary investments. Resolved further, in accordance with Civil Code 5515, the board of this corporation has an obligation to exercise prudent fiscal management in preserving reserved funds, called discretionary investments. The funds being invested as discretionary investments under this investment policy are not required within a reasonable time to pay obligations of this corporation. The board will determine the amount to be managed in this discretionary account. Resolved further, the board is required to retain an investment manager who has discretion to transact purchases and sales of investments for the Golden Rain Foundation's discretionary funds account. Such discretion is subject to the underlying conditions as stated below. 1. Up to 30% of the portfolio may be invested in corporate bonds and corporate bond funds rated BBB through AAA, specifically BBB3, BBB, and BBB, or better by Moody's or S&P or Fitch. A bond is only required to meet the criteria of one rating service. If a bond or bond within the fund does not meet these minimum credit quality criteria in at least one of the above-mentioned rating services, the bond may not be purchased or, if owned, must be removed from the portfolio within 30 days. This removal criteria will not apply to bond mutual funds that have a stated objective of investing or investment grade rated bonds. Removal of downgraded bonds that fall below the investment grade rating will be determined by the fund manager. Number 2, no more than 3% of the portfolio is to be invested in any one corporate bond issuer. Number 3, up to 25% of the portfolio may be invested in funds comprised of government-sponsored federal agencies, namely FEMA, Federal National Mortgage Association, Fannie Mae, Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation, or Freddie Mac, and the Federal Home Loan Bank. Number 4, notification of confirmation of each investment transaction shall be given to the corporation's managing agent and treasurer of this corporation upon completion. Number 5, investments on behalf of this corporation may be made concurrently with investments made on behalf of other corporations at Laguna Woods Village. However, separate investment receipts will be held in the name of this corporation. Any such investments may be held for the account of the corporation in book entry form. Resolve further that any authorized investments into the discretionary funds previously made by said investment manager are hereby ratified. And resolve further that Resolution 90-19-53, adopted on November 5th, 2019, is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. I move that we approve this resolution for investments, the investment policy.
Seconded?
Debbie.
Okay. Are there any objections?
Discussion.
We do have a member comment on this item
Okay.
from John Beckett, 364Q.
Okay.
Bunny,
Am I on?
so we have to vote. Okay.
GRS investment manager, Sageview, is currently managing $19.6 million in GRF reserve funds. This is the latest report from Sageview, and this is how they've invested the money. We have 5 mutual funds, that 3 of them from Vanguard and 2 of them from Fidelity. The first 2 are invested in government securities. The first one, 67% U.S. government securities. The second one, 99%. Those 2 funds, they made a small profit. The other three funds are index funds. They're invested in the bond market. All three of them lost money. One of these Vanguard funds is called Backed Securities Index Fund. I couldn't find backed securities, but I did find mortgage-backed securities. Does that phrase sound familiar to any of you? You don't remember the 2017 financial meltdown and the Wall Street bailout? It was mortgage-backed securities that did it. The resolution that you're going to vote on today will authorize Sageview to invest, quote, up to 25% of the portfolio in funds composed of government-sponsored federal agencies, namely Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. That sentence is incorrect. Freddie Mae and Fannie Mac are public companies. They're not government agencies. But if you're going to rely on them, you have to know that they are very undercapitalized. In fact, they are so undercapitalized, they cannot trade their shares on any of the stock markets. You can buy them on their shares over the counter, but the share prices are extremely volatile. If you had purchased a share in either one of those companies 12 months ago, you would have lost 60% of your investment. Some experts believe that HOAs should not buy mutual funds of any kind. And here's what they have to say. I only have 30 seconds. I'll read the last one. This is from a real estate lawyer in Newport Beach. He says, as a litigator who has seen many, many HOA lawsuits, I would strongly advise against any HOA purchasing mutual funds or any other investment that isn't insured by the FDIC, period. The reason is simple: potential liability to the HOA and to the individual board member.
So, John, your time is up.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So, Jim, do you want to respond to that?
Yeah, it sounds as though your disagreement is with the strategy and not necessarily the policy. Is that the case? If I may ask that question, yeah.
My disagreement is with the policy, yes.
So can you be more specific about which areas of the policy you disagree with?
Well, the policy, as I said, number 2. Number 3, up to 25% of the portfolio may be invested in Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They issue mortgage-backed securities. That's what I'm opposed to. As I said earlier, these outfits are not financially secure, and I think we're making a big mistake to invest in mortgage-backed securities that are issued by Freddie Mae and Fannie Mac. And as a matter of fact, I'm totally opposed to investing in mutual funds because they're just too risky for us. We're senior citizens, and we can't afford to take a loss. We just don't have the stomach for it. I say only the safest investments. That is my belief.
Thank you, John. Just to put all of this into perspective, this year there has been a net loss on the valuation, not the yield, but the valuation of the bond funds. But that has been offset by the previous increase in those same bond funds. The previous increase was close to $800,000 in 1 year. I believe this year we have lost in terms of valuation, maybe $600,000 on the $20 million, close to $20 million valuation. These are long-term securities. We have no need for the funds at this moment. We could have very well just gotten out of them last year, but they are very safe in terms of the long term. And so that's what we're looking at is the long term. With that said, they are reviewed. This is the investment strategy is reviewed every 6 months by the board and the finance committee. And so I would welcome you to make your comments at the next Finance Committee meeting, which is February, when we do consider whether or not we should make any sort of substantial changes in the actual strategy itself.
Egon.
So with respect to our resolution here, where it says our number one issue is safety, I suggest, frankly, that if we have an account that can both gain and lose money, safety is no longer our number one. I'm sorry to say that, Jim, but it's not. And I do not know what will happen if the Fed decides to start raising rates. I don't know what impact that will have on our accounts. However, our advisor certainly ought to be able to tell us that. But I do know that some of our investments have moved contrary to interest rates. So when even the very short-term interest rates that the Fed manipulates or plays with move up and down, our investments move in the other direction. And we're at rock bottom for 20 years, or since 2006, 7, 8. If this thing goes off 0 or 1 or 2, we could end up losing half of that $19 million or half of whatever's invested in those instruments, okay? Now, I don't care whether you go forward with this because that's a majority vote, but at least our man who we pay should come and tell us what that risk is, because right now things are really hairy in Washington. They really are, okay? And 6 months, boy, this Titanic will sink a lot quicker than that. So waiting 6 months for the next review is not adequate. He doesn't have to come in person, but we need a ruling and understanding of what our real risk is in percentages or whatever. Because if the 20-year bond or the 10-year federal interest rate goes up a few fractions of a percent, the stock market tanks on occasion. And our, but I mean, the proof of the pudding is the fact that we have a gain, and then last year, because last year the interest rates went to rock bottom again. This year they're creeping up, and we're showing a loss. If they jump up, we're going to jump for a big loss. I know nothing more about bonds than that they move contrary to interest rates. Thank you.
So, okay,
Can
go
I
ahead.
just respond to that? I think the operative phrase is that none of us are the professionals in this industry. And so we depend on our professionals, in this case it's Sageview, to give us that advice and counsel. They spent more than an hour at a full board meeting going through details of what the investments were, what they were about, what their yields were, why they chose to stay in certain investments because of the long-term impacts. They showed historically what these investments or these types of investments do and how stable they are over, I guess, the last 10 years, okay, and what they predict for the next 5 and 10 years. So while I respect everybody's opinion on what the market does, interest rates rising, stock market going down, up and down, that's why we depend on our professionals. And we can always question them, and I welcome anybody and everybody to come to the next Finance Committee meeting, where we review this, is in February. It's not 6 months from now, it's in February. So I welcome anybody and everybody to come. But that doesn't preclude us from in fact, we do work with the investment professional on a monthly basis, okay? And so we don't just wait every 6 months. We also, this investment profile was developed by us with the help of the investment professional. We had an ad hoc committee that was put together back in late 2019 that put together this profile, at least the upper limits of the profile. So I am not the investment professional, and I don't think any one of us are. Maybe there are some. But we all have our opinions on these. And I think we should continue to rely on the investment professional.
So the only comment I want to make on this is one of the things that John Beckett said was we authorize. We don't authorize Sageview to do anything. They do what we direct them to do. Okay? That's the purpose of having the review. And if we find that we need to make a change, then we direct them to make the change. So it's basically at our direction. Okay, yeah.
So I would like to comment on this. I did listen to what Sageview had to say last time around. One thing they did not quantify is risk relative to, say, give them an interest rate and say, if the interest rate goes to this quantity by the Federal Reserve, then what is our risk at that particular point? They can calculate that and tell us what that is. We do not know that. We are violating the safety protocol. In my opinion, not as a professional. I don't know anything about, those particular bonds, and I'm not making any forecasts. But I will say two things, just as somebody who's vaguely knowledgeable about the stock market. We're not allowed to invest in S&P, for example, but had we for 20 years, we'd be far, far, far better off. But in bonds, you never make a giant killing, but you can make a giant loss. Let me tell you, there are a lot of people who went bankrupt when bonds, when the interest rates went really, really high. So all I'm saying is I think we're violating our number one resolution. Is safety. Liquidity is probably not a problem. And yield is what the reason we made the change is because we want yield. But we gave away safety to get the yield. That is a fact.
Madam Chair?
Okay, yes.
I want to ask a question from, James. Have a look at the other mutuals, their investment policy, and how they approaching this issue, because I know there in other mutual, there are a lot of discussion, a lot of changes on the policy. It depends on the requirement and what is the number one requirement as far as our, CCNR goes, et cetera. Have a look at all those other, mutuals, and in comparison, where we stand among the three. Are we in a better shape, or we could do better, or the Sage view is the right investment group? That's my first meeting. I haven't been a lot of discussion. I realize that you guys had a lot of discussion about that. But this is one of the really sticky issues that, we have a lot of money sitting somewhere, and we just want to make sure that it's safe, regardless of what happens in the market. The market is at, inflation point, and it's really going south sooner or later. The bubble has to burst. We all know that. It's just a matter of time. But the question is, how safe we are here versus other mutual, what is their policy in comparison where we stand, and are we safe enough with our investment? That's...
Since you asked the question, may I respond to the question?
Well,
I'm sorry.
Elsie wanted to respond. Okay. Jim?
I
Okay.
don't want to respond to him, I wanted to respond to
Yeah,
you.
and I don't want to comment too much on what the other mutuals have done, except to say that when the mutuals did change, one of the mutuals did change its policy, and it was reaction to a resident's commentary on it, and threat of I'm going to call it legal ramifications. There was a question as to whether or not our policy complied with code. We went through that process with our attorney, which is one of the reasons, by the way, we rewrote the essence of the policy, not the strategy itself, but the essence of the policy to clarify it. Because what the clarification was, 5380, which is the requirement of a managing agent to deposit funds into specific types of accounts, okay? This is an investment. What this means is this money has been deposited into that account, but specifically has been directed to the board to be put into an investment account. So what we did with our policy statement was to separate the two requirements, all right? 5380 says management agent must do certain things. And by the way, the management agent does have certain non-discretionary ability to invest, but they must invest in federally backed, instruments, okay? And so that's what we did. We wanted to clarify that. So that's what specifically this policy did. It did not address the upper limits of the investment strategy. We kept that the same because that was the result of the ad hoc committee back in 2019 doing extensive work on risk and value, yield, and safety. And so that was their work. We did not change that, okay? So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, yeah. But I understand that you look at it in comparison. Just.
Is there any other discussion? Elsie, okay.
May I address Egon, Madam Chair?
Sure.
Just because, that's, that no wasn't indicative when I said no. That what I was harking back to was when we first, and I'm new to this board, and I totally understand that, but there was an ad hoc, when we switched over to Sageview, there was an ad hoc committee.
Right.
And there were actually people on the committee and a lot of pressure from the community to invest in stocks because the stock market had been, the New York Stock Exchange as well as the Chicago one, NASDAQ, had just been, as we know, and it's still just hand over fist, making money. And there were some really, really strong pressures to have anywhere from 5 to 15% of our money invested in stocks. Some of us, I'm kind of far to the right of Attila the Hun when it comes to finances. I mean, I'd rather see my money sitting there with zero than risk 1 penny. But that's me. And that's not everybody else. And so this whole business with the bonds, we've all, at least in some other, I can't speak for here, but for some other mutuals, we've had a small amount of corporate bonds, and I don't think we had any funds. We had individual bond certificate thingies, We didn't, and we bought and sold individual ones. And then the big change that happened was we increased the percentage of investment in bond funds because there was a little bit more yield. And we also changed over to funds. And there's certainly pros and cons, but I just wanted to emphasize the collegial and compromising decision that was made because there were people that actually wanted, and I'm sure there still are, that wanted to go into the stock market because why are we missing out on all this wonderful money? So that was actually pretty conservative what we came up with, we thought at the time. And we did this largely at the, working with Sageview, and that's kind of why we ended up choosing them, was they heard us on the conservative part, and they've suggested some things through the years, but they've never been real pushy about it. So I'm agreeing with you about the risk factor, but I don't agree with the part that we just gave up. Because those bonds, in the long run, they're not invented in, they're not invested in little teeny weeny companies. They're pretty major corporate bonds. And even if there's some fluctuation in a long-term investment, you expect it's going to get up and maybe even further. Plus, you got that nice little yield. So the stock market, on the other hand, I wouldn't, well, anyway, that's none of my business. So I just wanted to give you that little bit of background because I don't think you were on that that particular ad hoc committee. So we really considered it, and some of us considered it really hard. That's all I have to say.
Is there any other discussion?
Yeah, just a comment. I did not critique whatever they did in 2019. I am not critiquing what they did in 2019. I'm really only pointing out that we are, in fact, at risk. How much risk? I don't know. Maybe it's just a few dollars. But I want to point out that we are. If you believe we're not, if you believe we're not, you're wrong.
I agree with you. There's risk in everything. You're absolutely right.
Juanita?
May I suggest that Jim direct Sageview at their February presentation to address the risk?
I think we always address the risk.
Thank you. We always do, and they did a significant job because we were, at the time they did their August review, we were considering all of this. We had, the resident had approached us with some concerns, and so we went back and we had them go through with a totally different type of presentation, which had us understand both the short-term and the long-term risk, the type of instruments we were invested in, and what they all represented in history as well as moving forward. Their connection to interest rate rises and falls as to what those investments have done in the past. So I think it was pretty extensive. We'll ask them to do it again and continuously every 6 months. But again, these are long-term investments. These are not something we intend to use tomorrow. And so, but yes, we always do have Sageview come in and do a complete presentation for that. Thank you.
Yeah, I was I did view, I was here for that presentation, and I agree with you, but evidently some of our other directors did not feel that it answered their questions, so I was just hoping that they could go a little bit deeper.
Yeah. And by the way, they were open to all of the questions. They handled all the questions at the time.
Okay, Debbie?
I just want to say that the market has changed substantially since the last review. So I am assuming that because we have entrusted Sageview, that they're monitoring every day our money. That's why we hired them. The only way we're ever going to be 100% secure is to take our money out and put it in a mattress. And that's not going to happen. So, I am all about safety in our money. I don't want to see our money. None of us want to see our money. That's our fiduciary responsibility. So I just want to say that we entrust Sageview to do this for us. We entrust the person that's assigned to our account, or multiple people, I understand, to every day look at what's happening. There is a lot of volatility right now. We all have been hearing about it, but it's been a very recent change. In August, things were more stable. Things are not stable now. So in February, I suspect that their report will be much different than it might be. And we may have to look at changing some things. So, but that's why we have them. And we're doing the best, I think, that we can based on what's available to us at this time. So that's all. And sorry, I have a cough drop in my mouth.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, if there's no,
Madam Chair, one of the directors is in the hall. Can you postpone the vote till he comes back?
I can't hear you at all when you're talking there.
Never mind, he's back.
Okay. All right. So is there any further discussion? So if there's no further discussion, we will take the vote. Okay? And so all those in favor of the investment policy?
Do we need to use the screen?
Sure, we can use the screen. Okay?
I love this, it's bad.
Well, I pressed it, but it's not doing anything. Or did it?
It's great.
Oh, okay, great.
If anybody has difficulties using the screen, you can go ahead and tell me your vote, and I can input it for you.
Okay, has everybody voted? We have 5 yes and 1 no and 1 abstain, so we have 6 yes.
Jim's pressing, but he's not showing.
All right, so we have for Director Hopkins, what is your vote?
Yes.
Director Hopkins has said yes. Director Horton, what is your vote? Yes. All right, Director Horton has said yes. All right, thank you.
So I think Don has his hands raised.
All right. That sounds good. All right, so we have a final vote of 9 in favor, 1 director is absent, and 1 director abstains.
Okay, thank you. So the motion is approved and by unanimous consent. Thank you. And you really have to thank Jim for all the effort that he has put into this and the Finance Committee, because I want everybody to know that we really pay close attention to this. So the next item is resolution to update the committee appointments. Now, there are a lot of corrections. And so what I think I would like to do is to mention the corrections, and then we can add them to the minutes, right?
Then we can read the resolution.
Review, okay, all right.
Can we take our break after this?
We have a break
It's
at,
11:10, and we haven't had a break since 9:30.
okay, well, we usually do it after new business. It's on the agenda, but if you would like to take a break after this, we'll do this.
Number 14 can make it number 13.
Okay, so these are the changes that I have, okay? For CAC, we have Joan Milliman as the alternate, replacing Debbie. Okay. On Media and Communications, so I'm going to go down the list, okay? So Revenue and Resources Ad Hoc Committee, they basically didn't realize that we needed all that information before for the board here, is Kush Bada, Donna Ray Solstack.
Don't go fast.
Okay.
What committee is this? I'm sorry.
This is for the Revenue Resources Ad Hoc Committee.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. All right, so then it would be Dennis Bordeaux, Dick Rader, Dave Benek, B-E-N-E-K, is that correct, Yvonne?
Yeah.
Okay. And Fred Volt, V-O-G-T. Okay, and so,
Madam President, under strategic planning, I have an advisor name that's missing.
named what?
One of my advisors is not listed on this.
Okay, so, and who's that advisor?
Her name is Gay Page, Gaypage.
Okay. We tried to get this right. There were so many changes. Okay.
Strategic planning advisor is, in addition, under advisor, is Gay Page.
Okay, page, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
Okay. So the next one is Media and Communications. We need to add Lynn Jarrett as the third alternate. She's the third and then an alternate under Media and Communications. And under Broadband Ad Hoc Committee, we need to add Lynn Jarrett for third. So Security and Community Access, Reza Karimi, GRF. I think that's it. So Joan, would you please read the resolution?
Yes. I'll basically read the changes so we don't get all bogged down. Resolution 90-21XX, GRF Committee Appointments. Resolved December 7th, 2021, that the following persons are hereby appointed and ratified to serve on the committees of this corporation. So under Strategic Planning Committee, we have added Gay Page as an advisor. Under the Community Activities Committee, we take out Bunny Carpenter as an alternate and put in Joan Milliman as the alternate for GRF. Under Revenue Resources Ad Hoc Committee, I don't have all the associations, so help me.
Okay,
We have added Kush Bahada from third, Donna Shostak from third.
Third, right.
Dennis Bordeaux.
He's like an advisor.
Advisor, okay. Dick Rader, advisor.
Right.
Dave Bennick, advisor.
Right.
And Fred.
I think it's V-O-G-T.
V-O-G-T. Vogt.
Okay, he's an advisor.
Okay. We'll get that straightened. Okay. Under the Finance Committee, Elsie Addington is from GRF and Gan Mukapadahe has been taken off. Diane Casey has been taken off from United, and Anthony Liberatore has been added under the Finance Committee. Under the ITAC Committee, Bunny Carpenter is no longer an alternate. She's fully on the committee. Landscape Committee includes Juanita Skillman as chair from GRF, Reza Karimi from GRF, Yvonne Horton, the alternate from GRF, Maggie Blackwell from United, Pat English from United. Emmanuel Armendariz has been removed. Under Maintenance and Construction, Deborah Dotson has been removed as alternate. Reza Karimi has taken her place as the alternate for GRF. And under Reza Bastani has become the alternate for United. Under Clubhouse Renovation Ad Hoc Committee, Reza Karimi is in for GRF. Manuel Armendariz has been taken off. Maggie Blackwell has come in under United. On the Media and Communications Committee, Juanita Skillman has been added under GRF, and Maggie Blackwell has been added under United, And Juanita Skillman has been taken off as an advisor. Lynn Jarrett has been added as an alternate from third. Under the Broadband Ad Hoc Committee, John Perlston's been removed from GRF, and Lynn Jarrett has been added for third. Under Mobility and Vehicles Committee, Elsie Addington has been added as the alternate from GRF, and Joan Milliman has been eliminated as the alternate from GRF. Under Security and Community Access, Reza Karimi from GRF has been added. Under Disaster Preparedness Task Force, Juanita Skillman has been added from GRF, Gan Makapadahe has been added from GRF, and James Cook has been added from third. Under Laguna Woods Village Traffic Hearings, Yvonne Horton has been taken off from GRF, Elsie Addington has been added from GRF, Deborah Dotson has become the alternate from GRF, Donna Shostak is the alternate from third, and Anthony Liberatore has become the alternate from United. Under the Purchasing Ad Hoc Committee, Jim Hopkins has been added from GRF, and Yvonne Horton has been taken off from GRF. Robert Muchnick has been added from third. Cash Ashwakar has been added from United, and Diane Casey has been added from United. Those were all the changes I had. And so finally resolved further that Resolution 90-21-43 adopted November 2nd, 2021 is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. I move that we approve the committees.
Is there a second?
A second.
Okay. Are there any objections? If there are no objections, the corrected committee appointments is approved by unanimous consent. Thank you. Okay, at this time, we will take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
As requested.
All right. Hey, John, come on. Here's the quad that is limited. Oh, 13A.
So we shall continue to new business. So the next item is to entertain a motion to approve a donation agreement between GRF and the Duplicate Bridge Club. So will you read the resolution, please?
Resolution 90-21-XX, donation agreement between GRF and Duplicate Bridge Club. This agreement entered into this 7th day of December 2021 is by and between the Golden Rain Foundation and a California nonprofit mutual benefit corporation and the Duplicate Bridge Club, donor. Whereas GRF and donor recognize the importance of community facilities and amenities, and whereas GRF and donor acknowledge the benefit of donations when they have a purpose consistent with GRF goals and are in the best interest of Laguna Woods Village, and whereas the donor has offered to donate the funds totaling approximately $680 to have the Clubhouse 7 bridge room repainted using VMS staff. And whereas the Recreation Department Director or COO reviewed and affirms the proposed donation meets the criteria for acceptance contained in the GRF donation policy. A, to meet a true need of the facility. B, not interfere with the intended current or future use of the facility. And C, not require the relocation or of other equipment or infrastructure to accommodate the donation. So now, therefore, be it resolved December 7th, 2021, that GRF and donor, in accordance with the described conditions and obligations hereinafter set forth and agree as follows. Section 1. The donation, known as Duplicate Bridge Club funding of Clubhouse 7, bridge room repainting, described below, is donated in its entirety to GRF, hereafter owned by GRF and managed on behalf of the residents of Laguna Woods Village by Village Management Services, Inc. Sorry. Section 2, donation description. Funding of cost to repaint the Clubhouse 7 bridge room north and south walls. The space of the facility is the bridge room, the location is Clubhouse 7, and additional information under Section 3, the amount of the donation estimated by VMS Painting Division is the cost of $118.90 for the item cost. The installation cost is $561.51. And the total estimated donation is $680.05. Section 5, GRF reserves the right to move or remove and or retire the donation following cessation of the 5-year period. The term shall commence upon the date entered into and indicated above. Section 6, GRF will not replace the donation or community space improvement if it is stolen, vandalized, worn out, irreparably damaged, destroyed, or expires. Section 7, installation and maintenance. GRF shall be responsible for installation and maintenance of the item, including any reasonable repairs. Section 8, term. The term of this agreement is a minimum of 5 years or beyond if applicable. Resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to carry out this resolution as written. I move we approve the donation agreement between GRF and the Duplicate Bridge Club.
I second that.
Is there any discussion?
I'm sorry, but section 5 and 6 do not make sense to me.
I know.
And section 7 counters section 6. How do you, this is paint on a wall we're talking about.
That's right.
How do you remove, retire
Okay.
the donation?
I think this is standard boilerplate, and that's why it's weird.
I know.
It says that they will not do anything for
No.
it, and then number 7 says they'll be responsible.
We have a donation policy that has been approved, and so this, basically this resolution was based on that boilerplate for that policy.
No, it doesn't make sense for this donation.
That's right, but we will be maintaining it as needed.
Right. Thank you. All right, is there any other discussion? If there's no further discussion, is there any objections? If there are no objections, this motion is approved by unanimous consent. So the next item is to entertain a motion to introduce a revision in the Saddleback Emeritus Institute parking fee. And because it is a policy, we do have to postpone it for 28-day review. I mean, we had some discussions because it was sort of debatable whether we had to have the 28-day review, but our parliamentarian here has determined that we do have to have the 28-day review. So,
Not just me.
do you want to go ahead and read the resolution? And then if Brian would like to come up and speak to it, he can speak to it.
Okay, thank you. Resolution 90-21-XX, Saddleback College Emeritus Institute parking fee. Whereas the Saddleback College Emeritus Institute provides educational services to residents and non-residents of Laguna Woods Village, and whereas staff recommends the GRF Board of Directors adopt Resolution 90-21-XX to change non-resident parking fee equivalent to mirror district campus parking fees, and whereas October 1st, 2019, that the Board of Directors of this corporation implemented a student parking pass fee of $50 per semester and $30 for summer semester for non-resident students who take Saddleback College Emeritus Institute courses in Laguna Woods Village, effective with the spring semester of 2020 enrollment. And whereas December 6th, 2021, an agreement was accepted to match South Orange County Community District College District campus parking fee, which is $40 per semester or $25 for summer semester, subject to change each semester as per the SOCCCD campus parking fees. And now therefore be it resolved December 7th, 2021, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts the South Orange County Community College District parking fee of $40 per semester and $30 for the summer semester. And resolve further that this resolution shall be effective January 1st, 2022, and Resolution 90-19-49 adopted November 1st, 2019 is hereby superseded and canceled, and fees updated according to this resolution. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. I move we accept this resolution for discussion purposes and revisit it in 28 days, according to Civil Code 4360.
Is someone second it? Okay, is there any discussion? Okay, Juanita.
Is there going to be, is there going to be a separate resolution about the use fee that is going to offset what we lose on this parking fee? It was not included in here. It was in our discussion yesterday, but it's not in any of this, and I don't know if that's going to be a separate resolution. Somehow we need to document that that's going to be done.
It's a different, separate contract.
So, I'm not sure if it's on. Hello? Okay. So I'm not sure if there's going to be a second resolution on that or not, as the fee is tied directly into the contract agreement that the GRF board approved. This solely focuses just on the parking resolution, or the parking fee resolution that's currently in place. So it aligns more with the updated contract agreement that we discussed and approved and was approved yesterday. So there would not be a second resolution on the additional revenue sources from the labor costs associated with the room setups and teardowns.
Okay, well, somewhere we need to make that
It's in closed
known
session.
to our residents, because what it looks like is that we're losing money by reducing the parking fee. And that's not true, as we found out yesterday. But I think the residents need to know also that there is a way to offset that. And if it's not in this, then it's got to be a separate something.
Madam Chair.
Joan?
I have two things. First of all, I think we reveal to the residents what the board has decided in closed session. We will reveal all that gain that we make from the service fee, but we make that decision in closed session. And the next time we'll reveal it in January. But I have another question. By delaying this 28 days, does it hurt the emeritus fees in any way?
Well, we would have to wait until this resolution passes the 28-day notification. So we wouldn't really be able to collect the parking fees until this has been finalized.
Until after the first board meeting?
Right,
Okay,
in January.
thank you. Is it going to help? Is it going to hurt?
Well, I mean, the classes do start mid-January.
That's my problem.
So there is a small window, about a week and a half, where those who are non-residents and they have to purchase a parking pass, that they can come down in that time frame to make that purchase. So there was a small window, about a week and a half, that is available to them.
Siobhan, you're shaking your head.
We're just going to have to make it work because we can't
Right.
have it approved until the first meeting of January.
Can't pay their fees until after? Okay,
Right.
thank you.
So we do have a short time frame, but we're able to meet that time frame.
Yes,
Is what you're saying?
yes, we can, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other discussions or questions? Okay, Jeff.
I have a question. I noticed on there that you, in the 1, 2, 3, 4th whereas, it says, where it references the $40 per semester and $25 for the summer, subject to change each semester as per the school district's campus parking fees. So I guess my question is, every time they change the fees, we're gonna have to come back and change the resolution, so that's potentially every
year.
if they're making the decision on their fees and we're corresponding, so if they lower their fees next semester, we're going to be lowering our fees next semester. So that means you're going to be changing this resolution potentially every semester. I just want to make sure everybody.
Maybe we should make an amendment.
Amendment to the original.
If we were to amend this under, now therefore be it proposed, to say, you know, right now we're changing it to the college district parking fee and so on. And then we add in that point, subject to change each semester as per just add that subject to change for the campus parking fees under the therefore. Would that be appropriate? Yeah, Brian, I'm asking.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah, because then it will just float with whatever their fee is.
Okay, I move, or I would like to amend the therefore to say, after the parentheses for summer semester, just simply add, subject to change each semester as per the SOCCCD campus parking fees. In other words, just add the sentence from above into the therefore so it corresponds. You get that? Grant, okay? Okay. We need a second. We need a second.
Is
We
there a
need vote.
second? Okay,
Elsie,
second.
second.
Is there any further discussion?
No, all in favor of the
All
amendment.
all in favor of the amendment to the resolution?
Okay, so the
So it
amendment
looks
is.
like we have unanimous consent.
It's approved,
It's
okay.
approved.
Now the resolution as amended.
Okay, so the resolution is approved as amended.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, well,
All right, so we already took our 5-minute break, and we'll go on to committee reports. So, Jim, you have the floor.
First, I'll report on our last meeting, which was October 20th. We did review the investment policy at that meeting, and the words were changed to comply with code, and of course, we saw the results of that here. Next meeting is December 15th. which is next week. Okay. Now, moving on to the financial report. Okay. This report covers the reporting period through October 31st, 2021. And for that period, the total revenue for GRF was $36.9 million, compared to the expenses of $33.8 million. So the result is a net revenue of $3,101,000. Next chart, please. Now, moving on to the operating portion, which is without depreciation. It shows that we have a favorable variance on the bottom line of $1,425,000 through the reporting period. Next chart, please. Now, this chart shows the income statement, but it's compared to budget. The GRF ended the period better than budget by $2.7 million, most of that coming from savings with regard to expense. Next chart, please. Now, this chart shows the most significant variances by category, with the green bars representing the favorable variances and the orange bars representing the unfavorable items. Of course, employment compensation, which we've been talking about since the beginning of the year, is $2,319,000 favorable, primarily due to the open positions. Security and information services lead that, and recruitment is in process. As we all know, recruiting during this period has been a challenge and continues to be a challenge actually nationwide. So we're not immune from that challenge. Moving on to the second favorable variance, trust facility fees have gone up by, or better than budget, by $1,016,000 due to more manors being sold. The year-to-date revenue from the $5,000 per manor transfer fee is 33% higher than anticipated. The community has 860 resales versus a budget of 620. And by the way, that compares to 548 in 2020. So we're doing well for our resales this year. And on community events expense, it is $297,000 favorable due to the facility closures during the pandemic. The budget assumed we would reopen in March, but actually most of the facilities start to reopen in June and continue to be, in some cases, on a limited basis. Unfavorable, and we had much discussion about this. The first one is our unrealized gain on our investment. So far this year, it is $592,000. And by the way, over the last few months, it's actually improved. It was earlier this year, it was slightly more than that in terms of a loss. But that is also compared to almost $800,000 gain on those same investments last year. So our inception to date, it is still positive on these. And these are long-term investments, meaning that we don't expect to be able to have to use the money until could be 3 to 5 years from now. The other part of this is unrealized. In other words, it's not result of transactions, it's unrealized. These are just value of the bond funds that we have. There is a positive in a sense that the bonds do have a positive yield. And I forgot what that amount was, but it is close to $200,000 in terms of an actual yield, monetary yield on the bonds themselves. The clubhouse rental fees are unfavorable due to facility closures during the pandemic. The budget assumed revenue again would start in March, and of course a lot of the activities hadn't started until June, and so that's that's still continue to drive that number. Miscellaneous revenue is negative variance, $400,000, due to less fees collected during the facility closures. So it looks like 2 of the 3 negatives are actually due to facility closures. And of course, the positives on the personnel side are also due to facility closures and recruiting challenges. Next chart, please. Now, we do have a lot of other resources other than assessments, such as fees and rentals. To date, we have received just over $10.7 million, as shown on that pie chart. By category, we can see that the largest revenue is broadband services, okay, followed by trust facilities fees. And of course, golf revenue is a big revenue generator. And we have other revenue of 8%. So the largest by far would be broadband, and we continue to depend on that for our revenue, for offset some of the expenses that we have. Next slide, please. Now, expenses year-to-date are $33.8 million, and this includes the depreciation. Our largest category is compensation and depreciation, followed by depreciation, and then our cable franchise fees and insurance and professional fees. This is the typical proportions that we've been seeing throughout the year, and nothing startling. Next slide, please. This slide shows our resale history from 2019 to 2021. And of course, communities, as I mentioned before, community-wide sales are 860 through October 21st. Most of these transactions, not all, but most of these transactions generate a $5,000 trust facilities fee, which is used as a source of our revenue for our reserves. Next chart, please. The reserve and contingency funds, we're showing the adjusted balances here. Starting with the first column on the left, the funds have a combined ending balance of $31.1 million. Included in this total are contributions received this year through assessment, trust facility fees, and investment earnings. The second column shows the work in process, and that amount is $2.8 million, reflecting the amounts paid for projects that have not yet been completed. And the third column shows the resulting adjusted balance of $28.3 million. We spoke before about the $19.6 million that are in the investments. Those are for long-term projects, money that we don't intend to have to use for perhaps anywhere between 3 and 5 years. Where am I? Okay. The second column shows a work in process of 2.8. I mentioned that before. Okay. Next slide, please. Now, when we compare our adjusted fund balances to the historical balances over the next 5 years, we show that we've averaged $28.8 million in reserve and contingency funds, and that fund continues to increase as we anticipate as the village gets older. We anticipate having to use some of those funds to keep us young and fresh. All right. Now we compare our adjusted, next chart, please. Now this listing on this slide gives you an idea where the reserve money is committed. Of the $13.5 million appropriated by the board for various projects and equipment purchases, the remaining encumbrances against our reserve and contingency funds is $5.2 million. And that's primarily in renovation projects. If you look at that, you'll see that one of those projects is the golf facilities, as well as our computers that we need to refresh. And that concludes my report for October.
Okay, thank you. So the next item would be, so you finished everything for finance?
Finance is done.
Okay, and treasurer, okay, thank you. So, Elsie, would you like to give us a report on the trash contract? And the trash contract basically is not a GRF contract, it is a contract with the city, but I think it's really important because it impacts us so much that we should be able to understand what we have to look forward to. So Elsie, I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As Bunny mentioned, this is primarily, it's all legally goes through the city of Laguna Woods. But of course, as the bulk of their population, we've been closely involved, especially our executives with VMS. A little task force was put together just to keep people apprised of the situation and to work on solutions. The task force met most recently with City Manager Macon and city staff on November the 18th. Next meeting is scheduled for December the 9th. Due to California Senate Bill 1383, now this has been out there, it's been on the blast, and it's coming up in the breeze. So I'm sure our residents have heard little bits of this, but this is going to hit them where it counts this month, because all of a sudden you're going to notice, as it's been explained again in the blast and other places, but you're going to see a changeover of our old waste management trucks and the new CCR, Jeff, is that right? CRR, beg your pardon, the CRR trucks, which I believe are red, white, and blue. But you'll notice because they're big garbage trucks that look different. And they're also going to be taking out our, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I shall continue. Due to California Senate Bill 1383, beginning on January 1st, 2022, solid waste collection services in the city of Laguna Woods, including Laguna Woods Village, will be provided by CR&R Inc. instead of Waste Management. The whys and hows behind this major shift in solid waste handling services are many. The facts were shared in last Friday's What's Up in the Village and are available on the village website. They address the bill's details, why changes must be made now, information about the new solid waste handler, and more, briefly. Okay, solid waste, when we say solid waste here, we're talking about food waste, leftover vegetable peelings, and not bones, everything except bones. Sort of like what you put in a compost pile. And that's going to have to be collected separately and disposed of separately according to this new bill. So what is California State Bill 1383? SB 1383 aims to reduce methane, hydrofluorocarbon gas, and anthropogenic black carbon. And there'll be a spelling test at the end of this presentation. The anthropogenic black carbon emissions in a statewide effort to combat climate change and improve public health. Central to the reduction of landfill disposal-related methane emissions are targets to reduce organic waste disposal by 75% and recover 20% of edible food waste by 2025. SB 1383 applies through California, including incorporated cities and unincorporated areas, and creates significant new regulatory mandates affecting solid waste handling services. The most visible change for Laguna Woods Village will be the implementation of source-separated organic food waste recycling, effective January the 1st, 2022, mirroring a similar state law that required the implementation of source-separated organic recycling for certain clubhouses and commercial waste generations beginning in 2016. Our clubhouses, that includes us, that those clubhouses have been actively doing this since 2016. We just didn't notice, probably, most of us. So why will there be a change in waste haulers? Waste Management elected to opt out of an extension of its existing agreement due to the need for changes related to the impending implementation of residential organic recycling and other requirements under SB 1383, Following a competitive RFP process, the Laguna Woods City Council awarded a new agreement to CR&R Inc., which succeeds Waste Management as Laguna Woods Village Waste Hauler effective January 1st, 2022. And as most of you know, VMS does not contract with waste haulers to take care of our trash. The city does. So the city's been doing most of the heavy lifting on this in terms of, we're going to be doing plenty, don't worry, but the city's been doing like the research and the RFP process and back and forth up until now. But with keeping our executives in the loop, of course. Why are changes necessary now? I believe I already read that. Please excuse me. No, I didn't. To achieve these goals, SP 1383 requires that residential organic recycling programs begin no later than January the 1st, 2022, which is right around the corner. SB 1383 does not allow the deferral of residential organic recycling programs until 2025. That's a rumor that keeps going around, and the 2025 date is a goal for the emissions reduction. It's not a goal for when you start it, because we want to have reduced it by then, so it has to start now. How will California Senate Bill 1383 affect solid waste costs? Well, sole separation requires an entirely new set of containers, additional vehicles, and the associated labor to drive and operate those vehicles. In Laguna Woods Village, that would result in the addition of a new third stream of organics. This is the two-stream cycle is currently trash and recycling. We're adding a third stream, which is organics, which is food waste, in most shared trash enclosures. So that's going to be kind of a tight fit in a lot of our enclosures, but oh well, we're going to do this. Once collected, SB 1383 requires residential organic waste to be recycled by means such as anaerobic digestion or composting, both of which require specialized facilities at considerable greater cost than landfilling. When will additional information be available on residential organic recycling? Laguna Woods Village, including representatives from GRF, 3rd, United, and VMS boards of directors, is working with the City of Laguna Woods and CR&R Inc. to identify shared trash enclosure locations for new organic recycling carts. Materials to assist with the implementation of residential organic recycling will be available in December in advance of the start of residential organic recycling in January 2022. Until then, please continue to separate your trash and recycling as you currently do. So for now, you know, keep doing it until further notice. You don't have to start separating out your food yet. The facility processing the city's organic waste has unforeseen operational restrictions that have been imposed upon it by a regulatory agency, or an unforeseen equipment or operating failure has temporarily prevented the facility from processing and recovering organic waste. I think I might have, oh, you know, I apologize for that last part. Please disregard it. I got my pages messed up. Okay, I want to talk about the waivers really fast. There are waivers that we could apply for, but basically we don't qualify for any of them. Sorry. One is eligibility. There's a de minimis waiver that basically says it has to do with the total solid waste collection service subscribed to. Well, it has to be 2 cubic yards or less, and we don't have less, we have that much. It's kind of gobbledygook, but we don't qualify for that one. And you have to have less than 20 gallons per week per applicable container. Well, we aren't going to have one container for, we don't have as many containers as we are not going to have as many food containers as we do regular containers. And so keeping that in mind, and we would have to have less than 20 gallons per week of food waste per container to fall under this waiver. Well, there's no way. I mean, 20 gallons is not very much, and per week, that's really not very much. So the other thing we'd have to do would, to qualify, Third and/or United would have to substantiate that the amount of organic waste subject to collection in organic recycling carts, again, is less than 20 gallons per week per cart. But for the purposes of this requirement, organic waste would include but not be limited to food, green material, and landscape and pruning waste. Well, we can't count our landscape and pruning waste into this computation because we already have, that's a separate stream already for us. I know, this is government talk. And then there's another one, another exemption we could have. Excuse me, I'm almost done. Oh, and that would be less than 10 gallons per week per applicable container. And again, nobody's anticipating, and plus we won't know if we have less than 10 gallons or less than 20 gallons until we start doing it. But trust me, we aren't. The total solid waste collection for service subscribed to by Third and United is more than 2 cubic yards per feet. And so we just don't apply. And the last one that people are going to really bring up, I think, but just forget about it, is the physical space waiver. Okay, and the eligibility requires a determination that there is not adequate space for any configuration of organic containers allowed under, there's a corporate code here, a determination that there is not adequate space for the commercial business property owner, the city staff, and the city's hauler, a licensed architect, or a licensed engineer. Well, they've already taken a look at our physical space, and the city has asked, and Cal Recycle has advised, that the presence of undersized shared trash enclosures and small garages is insufficient to obtain a physical space waiver. So I know that's a lot of
Information.
technically information, but I just wanted you to know it's coming. But the good news is, at least in some places, and I think maybe everywhere, I'm not really positive, during the last budget process, we scheduled in an increase because we're looking at a huge increase for our garbage collection. None. I'm looking at you for guidance, Madam. We're looking for a big increase in cost to our community to picking the processing and picking up of our various garbage and waste streams. And due to the Chris Macon and our own executives, they're working to try to keep the prices as reasonable as possible. But that's already been, the first part has already been budgeted into, I won't say all the, because I don't know about all the mutuals, but at least one mutual that I know of. We've already budgeted that into for next year. So along with insurance, we had the big increase for insurance, and then we had a smaller increase for refuse hauling, and that's what this is all about. So I know that was a little bit garbled. I apologize, but it's a lot of information. And the next information will come out at our meeting on the 9th of December. That's it, really.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if Siobhan wants to add anything to that, or Jeff?
I just want to say I think the key effort that we've undertaken with the city is to try to minimize the aesthetic impact of any containers in the community. So that's the effort that we've been focused on as of late. And we should have a good, thorough update on that on Thursday for our committee.
Okay, thank you.
Richard Rader also has a comment that he would like to make.
Okay.
Go ahead.
As I understand it, the contract has been signed. If that's so, what will our village be charged? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I think if the question, I think I understood it right, Mr. Rader, was what is the anticipated increases? The way the contract was entered into by the city with CR&R, there are graduated increases for the next 5 years. It is a, correct me if I'm wrong, Siobhan, 7-year contract or 10 years?
I believe it's 5 with the opportunity to extend to 10.
Thank you. So in the next 5 years, there is a increase in the percentage increase on a yearly basis. One is to catch up with the market. Fortunately, I guess, or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at, Laguna Woods has been below market compared to the rest of Orange County. So it's catching up on that. And then the cost of implementation of this new requirement, state requirement, has added an additional cost. So it's substantial increases over the next 3 years, and then it starts to level out after that.
Do we have specific figures you can share with us?
I don't have it right in front of me, but I know that we were looking at 30+ % increase in the first year.
But Jeff, that wouldn't be GRF.
No, the impact to GRF is less because, as was indicated, the clubhouses have been doing the food waste since 2016. So the cost to GRF is less significant than it is to the mutuals.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
Bonnie, last week I was listening to Secret Radio 640 and report on this issue. It was very interesting. The report says that the regular recycling, people only do 50%. Out of that 50% regular recycling, only 10% have been recycled. The rest of them end up in the landfill. So even that process that is in place right now is not working. This new process, there's going to be a penalty if we mix the organic waste with the regular waste or with the recycled waste. How are we going to implement that in the village and prevent the penalties? That's going to be a big issue itself. There's going to be a lot of education for people to understand what is what, 3 different containers. At this time, even the public doesn't know how to recycle, 50% of the public. And now they're going to add another container. And now we're going to have penalties for that. What's going to happen? I think we haven't heard the last of this issue. There's going to be a lot of pushback. There's going to be a lot of discussion. The bioreactor is going to have their own problems because the bioreactor is also pollutant. It's not that simple, it's not a simple composting. This is a big process. So I think we just have to see what's happening in the Capitol on this one and the pushback. But this is going to cost us a lot more than we think it cost us if we, try to comply. Because the fines, the waste hauler, they're not going to take our organic waste if it's mixed. Or if they take it, they're going to charge us back additional charges because we have a mixed waste in there.
Thank you. Elsie.
I'm sorry, that was a crucial part of my report that I somehow lost track of. I can't imagine how. And any fines that are levied on the city, because the city will have the fines levied upon it because they're the contractor. And those can be from $500 a day up until $10,000 a day. And they aren't going to go down by themselves. That's all going to be passed along to the originator of the, and it's exactly, I think people really do know how to recycle. I know there's some confusion out there, but a lot of it is just people just don't care. And I use my own neighbors as an example. But they better start caring, hopefully. First of all, it's a worldwide global warming issue that the state's trying to address here. And also, it's done. It's a state law. The city has been working, trying to get us, out of it. And I shouldn't say that. They're trying to find exemptions that we could possibly qualify for. But the bottom line to all that is if we have too high a percentage of mixed up garbage, it can be up to $10,000 a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's go on to the next report, would be strategic planning. Debbie Dotson.
Okay, so we are planning to have a meeting in January, hopefully the second week. I'm waiting for staff to get back with me on an exact date, but we will start meeting monthly in January again. So that's what I'm looking forward to get going with that.
Okay, thank you. CAC, Yvonne Horton.
Good afternoon. The last CAC meeting, we discussed the aqueducts, and they're asking us to freeze their cost. And I asked Recreation to see what the cost would be to GRF. We got a good greens report, and we discussed the contract with Saddleback, which we ratified yesterday. Our next meeting is when?
December 9th.
The 9th, 2 days.
December 9th. Mhm.
I get a break. Okay, thank you.
Okay. The Equestrian Center Ad Hoc Committee, the next meeting will be January 26, 2022. I don't have any new information, but I'll let Yvonne tell you about what they've done to the arena recently. The dressage ring.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, we have some really fine equestrians over at the Equestrian Center, and they have donated, they've gotten together and donated what is called a dressage court. Dressage is the most correct way of riding a horse. And they donated it to us, to GRF and to the Equestrian Center. So I can't say enough or give enough thanks to those girls that got together and got that dressage court set up in our ring at the Equestrian Center. I have to tell you this too, if we want to use that ring for something else, that dressage court is movable. We just pick it up and move it out of the way. And it looks great. Everybody should go over there and take a look at it.
So
And
for those who don't understand what a dressage court is, will you explain that to them?
Oh, Jesus, it's a form of riding. And it goes back to practically to France, to the old style riding. And there's points where you have to ride your horse to different points within the dressage court. It's a big, large rectangle, and anyway, and it's a court. Yeah.
It's an Olympic sport.
Yeah. Well, ours is Olympic size, but anyway, and you ride your horse from point to point under the direction of whoever sets up the pattern that you ride within the court.
Okay. Thank you. It's a style of writing.
Thank you.
Yes.
It is a style of writing.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so the next item would be the Landscape Committee. And do you?
Is this a donation that we need to accept formally, like we did the donation before? Yes.
Yes, they will put that together for us, yes. Yeah, thank you.
I think the reason that President Carpenter brought it to our attention is that we've already installed the court,
Yes.
and the people are using it. But we will formally, we'll formally set a policy up.
Yes, to set the, thank you. Okay, so Yvonne, you're going to report on the Landscape Committee for the last time, and then the next time will be Juanita.
Yes, and I have to mention that, the governance calendar was wrong. There was no meeting scheduled for November 10th.
Okay.
And our next meeting is November 8th with Juanita. Thank you.
Right.
December 8th?
It's December 8th, I think. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, the next report is maintenance and construction. Egon.
There was no maintenance and construction meeting in November as such. However, there was a special event. We did interview a couple of architecture companies to advise us on Building E. Building E, if you don't know, is the building up in the maintenance center that houses primarily the security services. And we chose Rengel Architects to advise us on how to replace or options on replacing Building E. We also had a very brief meeting, not the whole committee, just an advisor and myself, with Guy West talking about the golf driving range RFP, a couple of issues that were sticking points, and we resolved those. And the ad hoc committee for clubhouses had a meeting on November 29th, and it was very brief. We just discussed primarily more issues with respect to, for example, on the patio of the drop-in lounge, there has been complaints in the past from neighbors that it's kind of noisy when a lot of people get out there. And so we are going to look at what we can do to mitigate that noise, and we're looking at new things. Initially, we thought maybe putting up a glass partition, but Guy West has come back and said there are some things that we can do with trellises and planted stuff that is probably more efficient and more attractive. And so we looked at that, and we gave some more guidance on just what level of let's say renovation we wanted to have in the Clubhouse 1 rooms. We gave initially an assessment that we wanted it to look kind of with the same paint scheme and the same doors and windows that we used in Clubhouse 2. And that particular, and a windows man came out from, I forget the name of the company now. Pella, yeah. Came out from Pella and looked at that, and it turns out that Pella did the windows in Clubhouse 2. So they're going to give us not an estimate, but a proposal for what we could do in Clubhouse 1 with similar type windows. The idea is to maybe make it look the same that Clubhouse 2 looks, which is it's sort of an upgrade from what Clubhouse 1 is right now. And so that's where we are there. And the next meeting is yet to be determined, but we'll try to it may be tough to get one in December because of the holidays. Normally we do it at the end of the month, so I don't know if we're going to do one in December. And that's where we are on that. Thank you.
Thank you. And the next, is there a question? Okay, Juanita?
Egon, is there any timeline on Building E? I know we just did the contract with there, but it seems to me that it keeps getting pushed off, and it's going to be years before we able to really address that. And that's a horrible place to work.
No,
I really feel for our employees.
I'm sorry. Oh, what the timeline is they're going to get back to us, and we'll have a series of meetings. And one of the problems in general with the format for all things here, actually, is the fact that we have these monthly or every other month meeting, and things do take a very long time. But yeah, they're going to get back to us in a relatively short period of time, and we'll probably decide where we're going to go with that project in this coming year. And Jim has pointed out that if we come up with a plan, we certainly have the funds to accelerate the plan. But right now, the way it stands, the way it is in the 5-year plan is 2022, we do the plan for the building, and 2023, we execute it. It's not that simple. There are a lot of other things involved. There's a meeting yet we're waiting on to discuss. There are not only security personnel in the building, there are also a small number of landscape people and a lesser number of maintenance people. And we wanted to discuss whether or not we can bring those in here. And that's a whole separate meeting, and I don't want to make any comment other than the fact that we need to address that. And I'll leave it at that for now. But yeah, I agree with you. I understand. And it's not just at that building, it's almost everywhere we go. And it is the fact that in say, a real estate operation where you renovate or build things, you would have daily meetings. And unfortunately, we don't have those. Plus the.
No way to fast track.
With special meetings, but we still have to, you know, there's still going to be time between the fact that we now chose Wrangell and they're going to come back to us and we're going to have a discussion about that. And I think we're waiting on staff for when the next date of that is. But I mean, the answer to your question is I would like to fast track or speed up several things, including the renovation of rooms. You know, I mean, it's not that big a deal, but of course, the people who do the actual work have other things to do also. So, I mean, when I say our staff, but the answer is, yeah, we'd like to speed it up if we can, and I'm certainly entertain any recommendations or any suggestions on how we can do that from staff or from directors.
Are there any other questions? Okay, so we'll move forward to media and communications. Joan?
Our Media and Communications Committee met November 17th, 2021, and some of the items that came up were the completion of the All Boards Handbook with a digital version that includes links to various legal documents that people would like to review. And Ms. Bowen reported about the All Boards training that took place November 15th with the presentations by United Mutual's legal counsel, Jeff Beaumont. We're looking forward to a website and village survey. The Strategic Planning Committee and each mutual will play an important role in planning the survey. And they're working very diligently on the website. Mr. Ortiz presented a broadband services update that included the 2021 year-to-date cable operation report, the 2021 year-to-date broadband services operation report, and he talked about the expiring programming contracts that are coming up. The channels that are expiring as of January 1st include NBC Sports Network and ESPN Classic, both of which are going out of business, so it's not our fault. They just aren't going to be there anymore. Broadband subscriber count was reported. The programming contracts forecast report was given, and internet subscriptions are still going up. It was suggested that by Ms. Skillen that we address the channels going dark with as much explicit publicity as advisable or as possible, remembering that much of these things you can get by streaming, which is something that everybody is exploring right now. And that really is where we'll be headed in the long run. But right now, we just have to do it a step at a time. The items for the future included the focus groups are going to be formed for the website, and the review and revise the village website usage policy, and of course the community survey, which I just mentioned. Our next meeting will be Monday, December 20th at 1:30. We will be meeting here in the boardroom and virtually as well.
Okay, thank you. The next report.
May I add one thing? I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just want to add on the old board training. that there was a video produced and that it is available on the village website and on our Village TV YouTube channel. So if residents want to watch it, it's available to them, the training that we all went through.
Thank you. And Juanita?
I have to comment on that. That video isn't worth ding. You can't, there's music in back, you can't hear the first parts of it. It's an embarrassment. Once you get into it, it's not so bad, but it turns people off almost immediately in the first 5 minutes. And I quite frankly am embarrassed to have it on YouTube as ours, and we sure can't use it for further training.
So first of all, that was not produced, the sound people that did it were not our team. They were not our people. There was something in the first 10 minutes with regards to the sound and some music playing. That was something they tried to get rid of, and they were unable to do so. But I want to say this is the first time that, not that we did something like this, but, you know, there had been a request from the community to have transparency. So it wasn't a commercially produced video. It was a video of the meeting itself. Nobody was an MC, nobody did it. So I agree that there are quality issues with it, but the fact remains that if you can fast forward past the first 10 minutes or so, there is good information by Mr. Beaumont regarding how our trust operates. And, you know, I think that there's value in that, so. It might not be what we hoped it was, but it's there, and it is something that does educate.
Thank you. Okay, so the next reports will be from Director Tibbetts, and he will report on mobile and vehicles and security and community access.
All right, thank you. Our mobility meeting was short. In fact, it's very short. We reviewed our basic programs, which I've shared with you a couple of times in the past, so I will skip that part. Our ridership volume and the number of people riding is still going up, slowly, but it's going up. And with this new strain of the virus, we aren't sure if it's going to continue going up, or Thanksgiving. A few weeks ago, the numbers are rising, but we aren't sure. We don't think it's going to affect our mobility. We'll find out. And I think I've mentioned to you about the auction we had with the vehicles we no longer use or no longer need and they're too expensive to repair. It's a good auction site. So it was a good change that we made to that company. We adjourned the open meeting, went to a long closed meeting, and that was basically to review contracts. And that's all I will say about that. Our next meeting on mobility is February 2nd at 1:30, and it'll be in this room. That's all, Madam President. And you want me to go to security? Mm-hmm. There was no meeting last month, so I have nothing to report. And our next meeting was scheduled for December 27th. That has been changed to February 28th on the request of staff. 28th at 1:30, and that will also be in this room. Those are my reports.
Okay, thank you, Don. So the report on traffic hearings?
That's easy. November, the traffic hearings were canceled because the two people who were going to come and present their side of the case rescheduled. So the next traffic hearing will be December 15th at 9 a.m. And right now, we're still showing them as virtual. That is a staff decision, and but my understanding is that they will be a hybrid. So it says virtual here, but I believe it will be a hybrid, and that as long as the people show up. That's the other thing, is if we only have a handful of people and they don't come, there's no point of having the hearing. So, because really, the traffic hearing is simply for people to present their side of the case. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not giving out tickets. So I want everybody who's listening to understand that we're still giving out a lot of tickets, but people are just paying them.
That's actually good news. So, did you have a question?
He did both.
You did two, yeah, both of them. So, disaster preparedness, the next meeting is January 25th, and we have new committee members that will be on that committee. And so I'm sure the next report will be very interesting, so thank you. ITEC, Jim Hopkins.
Okay. Well, first, let me take the opportunity to express our appreciation to Chuck Holland and his administrative assistant, the administrator assisting us, Delphine Mappy. They've done a tremendous job in keeping us on track. This is a rapidly moving committee with a tremendous responsibility for replacing our current computer operating system. We call it ERP, but it essentially is the circulatory system and brains of and communication system for the entire community. So I just want to express my thanks to them. We meet every week, and and I won't bore you with what we've done in the past because it's been there, but in the last month, we started to have stakeholder meetings. And stakeholder meetings essentially the staff, the staff gets together with all the contestants, the 3 finalists for the ERP system, and we review in a level of detail so that the staff is comfortable with what they have to offer and how it's going to improve their work life. So we go through that and the staff. I want to thank the staff also for participating in that process. I mean, it was overwhelming as to the amount of participation we had and questions that came to each one of the finalists, and there are 3 finalists to this process. So I thank them for contributing to that. So where we are right now is we've actually completed all of the stakeholder meetings. There were of the 3 finalists, each had 4 meetings with staff. That's 12 meetings that we've had in the last month. In addition to that, we also are having a business valuation assessment, and that's being done by Aventico, which is our current supporter and also a contestant in the finalists. And they are doing a business valuation, which they sit down with to determine not only the value of all of this to us, but perhaps the priorities we should be considering when we go to implement this. So that's where we are, and that valuation has been completed. It has not, the results have not been given to us yet, but they're coming. And so we are preparing the recommendations. That is, the ITAC committee is preparing the final recommendations based on all the feedback from the staff, our review, as well as the business valuation. So that will be coming perhaps in the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. And I have to say, I'm on that committee, and we are moving fast, and we have had tremendous support from staff to get it going, because it's going to make a big difference on how we operate in the future, and it'll make it easier for directors, it'll make it easier for staff, and it'll help us get into the 21st or the 22nd future. I don't know, 21st. We're still in the 21st? Okay.
We're not in the 21st.
Yes, so thank you. So we have no future items. Do we have any comments from the directors? We need, okay, Debbie?
I just want to add to the ITACs, I'll use Chuck's words. We're undergoing a complete village-wide digital transformation.
Yep.
And the committee just for everybody, if this is, we're working at the speed of light, but I'm telling you, we get stuff done, but we work really hard, and we're very detail-oriented, the group of advisors that are on the committee, and we sat through hours and hours and hours of very intricate demonstrations by all of the candidates for the new system. So please know that we are really, really putting our heart and soul into this, and our brains.
Yep. Is there any other director comments? Reza?
I just want to thank everybody for having a trust in me to sit on the board here, and looking forward to work with every one of you and hopefully make a meaningful contribution to this board. Thank you.
Thank you. And Joan?
Yeah. Thank you, Reza, for being here. We're very happy to have you. And I just want to wish everyone happy holidays. We're now at the beginning of the holiday season, and God bless you all. Thank you.
And I repeat what Joan says, we won't be meeting again until January for our board meeting, so I just want to make sure everybody has a happy holiday. And we will now recess and go to our closed meeting after we have lunch. So,
A holiday lunch.
yes, okay, thank you.
Thank you.